So you clicked on this video because you want to know how to import the highest quality video from Premiere Pro to YouTube. Well, today is your lucky day because I'm going to show you a hack that's going to change your experience forever. The way YouTube works is they always downgrade your video quality a little bit. Not really, if you, let's say you upload 4K, they're not going to make your 4K 1080p, but what they're going to do is, if your 4K video that you're uploading to YouTube is 40 megabits a second, they're going to downgrade it to probably 15 to 20 megabits a second, so they don't have to, they compress it down so they don't have as much space taken up in their cloud system and whatever. So today I'm going to show you how to get around that. So when they downgrade your video and compress it, it actually compresses it into a much higher quality file. And this works for any resolution, but for today's purposes, we're going to be doing 4K because that is the video that I'm editing right now. So I just finished my editing on the timeline here. As you can see, I'm in Adobe Premiere Pro 2019. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control M on the keyboard, which brings up the screen to render the video. Now, first thing you obviously want to do is get an output name. We're just going to name this Zoo Trip. Okay, so that's what it's going to save under. And right now, format, we want to upload it to, we want it to be H.264. And then here's the preset. I always like to go down to high quality 4K. So we click that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here. Effects don't touch. Audio you don't touch. None of these you touch except video. So first make sure that the width is 3840 by 2160, which it is. And the frame rate I shot this video in was 23 frames or 24 frames a second. So it's really 23.976. So aspect, you always want it to be square pixels 1.0. You want to click this box where it says maximum render depth, okay? That box is clicked. And down here you see where it says use maximum render quality. Click that. Make sure profile's high, okay? And make sure the level's 5.1. This is if you're in 4K. If you're not in, if you're in 1080p, it'll actually change this for you to, I believe, 4.1 or 4. But whatever it changes to, leave it there. But always make sure the profile's high, because if it's on baseline or main, it's gonna be real low quality. Always make sure it's high. High 10 is if you have like high dynamic range videos, which most people out there don't. So make sure it's on high. Now, this is the most important part. This is where you trick the system into the hack. So remember how I was talking to you about bitrate? I record this video in 100 megabits a second, which is essentially the more megabits a second you record a video in, the more color, the more data is in each frame. So it's 4K with 100 megabits. So if I recorded it in 4K with 60 megabits a second, it would be almost half less quality, if that makes sense. Like half of the data wouldn't be there. So it's a bigger file. So because I recorded this in 100 megabits, I can literally target bitrate. I can do 100. But if I were to render this at 100 megabits, okay, what's it going to do? YouTube's going to compress that down to about 40 megabits, right? They compress it. They have like the system is, let's say they compress it down by 2/3. So what I'm going to do is, in order to get the video to be 100 megabits on YouTube, I up the target bitrate to 175 megabits. Okay, so now it's going to compress a 175 megabit video down by, this is fictitious numbers, by 1/3. So now it's going to be uploading to YouTube at 100 megabits a second. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're tricking the system by, we're giving them a bigger file than we actually have. So when they compress it down, it compresses it down to the actual size of the file that we took on the camera. Instead of compressing it, instead of rendering at the file size that we took on the camera, it would compress it down to a lesser file size than we took on the camera. So this way we're tricking the system into thinking that we have a bigger file than we actually do. So that's genius. It's a way to work around the whole YouTube compression for the videos that you upload. Yes, it's going to take longer to render. Yes, it's going to take longer to upload. But at the end of the day, you're going to produce a higher quality video on YouTube for people to watch. And the higher quality video you have, the more likely are people are going to watch it. They're going to show your videos and push them out there. So we do that. We bump it up. We could go all the way up to 300, but that's a little ridiculous. So I usually do about 175. And now VBR, which is variable bit rate, one pass, that would be it renders a video one time. We want to do 2 passes. so it does it twice. There's also CBR, which is constant bit rate. I really don't mess with that, but this is going to take a little longer too. Variable bit rate 2 passes, but what it's going to do is it smooths everything out. So once we do that, you hit export, and boom, you're done. It's as simple as that. So that is how you trick the system into thinking that you have, well, not that you have, but you trick the system into compressing your video down into a file that is actually higher quality than they would normally do if you just rendered it at the exact quality you shot the video at. So I hope this video helped. I also have one like this for Instagram, how to get high quality 4K looking footage on your Instagram account. So if that interests you, click on the link right here. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. 604 Live. Peace and you're welcome.